Nobody knows where the fog came from. Some say it's punishment for our sins and secrets. All I know is that the sun shines over the horizon, and I'm going to take us there.
Hello friends, SentinalhMC here, and welcome back to Lifting the Fog. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at setting destinations and how to control your train. Here at the front of the train is where most of this takes place. You'll see a number of gauges, including the engine, the current speed that you're at, your battery level, your throttle and brake controls, the calendar, which is vital for planning your route, the clock, which allows you to advance time, a gauge which shows you the fog density, and your fuel gauge, which is indicated by where this small ball is on this meter, as well as whether this flashing light is on or off. I'm almost out of fuel at the moment, which is why the red light is currently flashing. You can control your train by manually dragging the throttle and brake levers. Pull the brake lever to the back to slam on the brakes and stop your train. To turn the engine off, pull the throttle all the way to the back. Do note that doing so will start draining your train's battery, and it will only last a couple of minutes. This is mostly used when running scavenging missions, and will be discussed in more detail in that episode. You can also use the throttle control to speed up the train or slow it down. The map is where you select your destination. You can see your train's current location marked by the red flag, your radio's maximum range marked by the red circle, any VIPs that you are aware of marked with a white flag, the Fearless, which is the primary enemy faction, marked by green flags, and the military, who wish to destroy your train, marked by a blue flag. The lines on the map show you the train lines that you're able to run on. These little collections of squares are stops that your train can go to. Various marks may be present over top of these locations. Your current destination is marked by a white line going down the various tracks to reach the small green pin at the destination you're currently traveling to. As this is the salvation game mode, the yellow flag on the right to the east is where you need to go in order to win. Reaching this location will end the game and give you a win. As we can see on our current map, there are a number of locations with interesting markings. This location currently has a single red line through it. I've been to this location, and I've scavenged at one of these locations, the general store. It's important to note that in the current build of the game, and I don't know if the devs plan on changing this in the future, you can only loot one location one time. So even if there are more resources left over at the general store in Blackshear, I'll never be able to loot the general store again. However, I could loot the gas station and the clothing store. However, I chose to leave Blackshear because the fog had become very thick. So there's a single red line over it. This location, Sector 310, has been fully searched. I've already searched its only location, and even though there are quite a few resources left over at this location, I won't be able to get them again. So it's marked with a red X. The locations with red circles are locations where you have received some amount of intel about what's at that location. You'll periodically receive transmissions on your radio alerting you to various resources or the location of various factions. You do this at the computer under the comms button, under supplies. I heard there are some supplies at the house, 116. Or under resources, which I have not been alerted to yet. Or under the help channel, letting us know that the Fearless are at the police station at Morrow at 6-4. These transmissions will come to you based on what frequency your radio is tuned to. So you'll want to scan the frequencies to try and find these various alerts. This can help you plan your route. I chose to go to this outpost because there was a VIP there. To set a destination, simply click on the location on the map, and this page will appear. It'll tell you a little bit about the location. What's there, in this case, a gas station, grocery store, and chemist. It will also let you select which speed you wish to travel at. The slower you go, the more the fog will gather, and the denser the fog will be as you travel and also when you arrive. However, you'll use less fuel. The faster you travel, well, the quicker you'll get there, so the fewer days will pass, so the fewer fear attacks you may be subjected to. And the fog will be thinner when you reach that location, as long as you haven't been there yet. Outrunning the fog by traveling at a high speed can be useful because it will allow you to scavenge for longer periods of time and run multiple scavenging missions at that location before leaving. However, it will consume far more fuel. As you can see, it'll currently require 2 fuel to get to this location at medium speed, 3 at fast, and there isn't enough time left for the slow speed to actually result in a decrease in fuel consumption, because I'm almost there. If you try to go somewhere you don't have enough fuel to go to, it will tell you, I'll need 12 fuel to get to this location, I've only got 2. I'll need 21 to get to Salvation, and I've only got 2, which is why, of course, we can't go straight there. It's very important that you look at this map to plan your route. You do not want to have a run-in with the military, this blue flag, so it's highly recommended that if you see them coming, you go in the opposite direction as fast as you can. I hope this has helped you to know how to control the train. The only final note are these train speed modifiers. I currently have one modifier, which is an upgrade to my engines, which provides a 5% boost to the speed of my train. However, various conditions such as damage to your train or various other things can apply penalties, which may reduce the speed of your train. So it's important to keep these in mind. Also, keep in mind the estimated arrival time. It's always better to arrive during the work phase, which begins at 7 o'clock. If it's possible to arrive just before or at or just after 7 o'clock, that's advisable. Spending less time at the location before your scavenging mission means the fog will be thinner. You'll have more time to scavenge it, and you'll have a less risk of losing passengers. So you should always try and arrive at or just before 7 a.m. This concludes our episode on directly controlling the train. It's really not all that difficult. Most of the game's strategy revolves around planning your route and then what you do once you get there. So while you won't spend a ton of time at the front of the train, it's important that we know how to use the information that we're given. Stay tuned for future episodes as we continue to demystify various aspects of this unique game. I'm SentinalhMC, and I'm signing out.